I'm Kate Lovell. In just a few short days, my 4 years of college will come to an end. No more papers, no more group work, and no more Marriott. No more routine, no more being surrounded by your friends every minute of the day, and no more predictability. What will it be like out there? That's what this videotape is all about. 5 people who are already out there, working in a variety of jobs in a variety of places. That's Brian's early childhood education major, class of 1992. Laura McGuinn, communications major, class of 1993. Mike King, sports management major, class of 1994. Katie Joseph, English major, class of 1997. And Keith Perkins, business major, class of 1999. That's Brian, class of 1992 in early childhood education. Currently, I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at Colby-Sawyer College. My name is Laura McGuinn, and I graduated Colby-Sawyer in 1993, and I am a project manager for an educational software development company.
My name is Michael King. Currently, I'm the Assistant Sports Information Director at Boston University.
My name is Katie Joseph, and I graduated in 97, and I work at the Hood Museum of Art at Dartmouth College.
My name is Keith Perkins. I graduated class of 99, and I work at Allied Business Documents here in Needham Heights, Massachusetts. Yeah, before this, I did a short stint in an insurance company, selling insurance, and I decided that wasn't what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. It was sales, but I decided it wasn't the type of sales that I was interested in. That business was just sort of one-shot deals. You get a sale, and then you may not see that person again, except maybe a year later. Working here at Allied, the sales I get here are, continual. It's, you just get into it, and you keep seeing the same person week out that you're selling to, and I really enjoy that.
I was working at Art New England magazine in Brighton, Mass. I was living with my mom. It was like a 3-day-a-week job, and I totally hated it. And I actually really missed being up in New Hampshire. Living up here, you never would think that you'd want to come back.
I came back to Colby-Sawyer in August of 1998. Previous to that, I was employed at Roger Williams University as an admissions counselor and an assistant director of admissions, and before that, I was working at Westbrook College. When I graduated Colby-Sawyer, I started freelancing, doing video production for ESPN, and then from there I moved on to another production house. And then from there, I was working at a company called AudioLink, and it's a audio production company doing voiceovers for CD-ROMs, and Six Red Marbles was one of my clients. And I was the vice president there for 5 years.
My first job wasn't related to this at all. I was working on a beer delivery truck, like the summer of '94, for a couple of months, and then actually there was an internship opportunity opened up at Northeastern starting in July of that year that I applied for, and I really hadn't heard back on, and because I needed to start working, so I didn't hear until just after 4th of July that year, and sure enough, I went in for an interview, and I got it was a 10-month internship and the sports information office at Northeastern, so I latched onto that, and then just carried it on from there.
I was petrified. I was an English major, and so that basically qualifies you for a little bit of everything, but nothing really specifically. So I just had really no background experience. I don't know why they hired me. They did. And it's worked out really well because I've just learned so much working here, and I've experienced so much. And so I definitely have great experience from this job.
I don't think there were really any feelings of being scared. It's just a new challenge.
It can be really scary when you just graduate and when you don't really know what you're going to be doing or where you're going to be going, because you're so used to, every year you go back to school, and then it's the fall, and where do you go? But freelancing is a really good way to get in the door because a lot of companies can be really reluctant to hire, really young kids straight out of college with no experience, no work experience. So freelancing is a great way to get in and know people, meet people in the industry, and that's how I ended up getting the jobs that I got.
The biggest thing, I guess, that worries you is just, how you're going to get by and what you're going to do.
Not really. My job is a lot of administrative work, which is not my cup of tea anymore. I really thought I was going to be working more with, I guess I wasn't really sure what it was going to be about. I thought there was going to be more art involvement, but it's really sort of the business aspect of running a museum and the exhibitions and everything. So there are interesting parts, but then there are parts that are not as much fun. Like it's really, I have to be really detail-oriented all the time, and it's not just one project that I'm working on, but all these different parts to it that have to come together at the same time, so it's a lot of mental work.
I enjoy it. I've always known I wanted to go into sales ever since I was about 12 years old, doing sales for my father's business. Really, sales doesn't change. It's all the same. You're working with people. You're building relationships. Selling printings, it's fun because there's always a different project to work on.
I knew when I was a senior that this is what I thought I'd be good at and what I really wanted to do. And although I may think at the back of my mind, geez, I wonder if I could still go into a third grade classroom and teach, and someday I think maybe I may do that, but for now, I'm pretty content. Will I stay at Colby-Sawyer? That's a challenge. There's only so much growth opportunity in a small school. I'd like to think that I wouldn't have to learn another school all over again, and there's something to be said for working at your alma mater and, promoting the school that, you love so dearly.
I have a good time with this. It's been good to me so far. I graduated in '94 from Colby-Sawyer, and since then I've pretty much taken the natural steps towards a position like this, doing internships and, jobs at smaller schools and, building up to a bigger Division I level school, such as BU. And absolutely it's something I can do the rest of my life.
I feel I was pretty well prepared. I also feel I took advantage of a lot of the extracurricular activities at the college, and I really feel that was, more than anything, what helped me prepare for the working world.
The preparation that a lot of the professors put you through, and I mean that in that way, with your last semester of college, they really prepare you for what life is going to be like, outside the confines of a place like Colby-Sawyer. A lot of things that you learn then that are applicable in the workforce are sometimes when you're teamed with people in a class and you don't like one of the people in your team, and you can complain about them all you want, but the thing is later on in life, you can't change that. And you work with people who are difficult or people who aren't like you or, conflicting personalities, and that was something I really learned graduating. So I felt really prepared when I left. I did go back to school briefly when I was at Roger Williams. I took classes at Providence College, and I was really quite intimidated as to how was I going to be prepared. I took classes in the school guidance and counseling, thinking that at that point maybe that's where I wanted to go. And I can remember distinctly sitting there the first day of class and thinking, my gosh, I'm incredibly prepared, even though I've been out of the classroom for 4 years. Friends and I, we were in the video production major, and we were totally thought that the experience that we gained in college, because we did a lot of practical experience, which was really great, and it was helpful, but we were of the mindset that was work experience, and that we were going to go right out and get fabulous jobs and be fabulously wealthy and do, and just we thought we were going to start out like right on top, be producers, be camera people. It's not the way it works, and that was a hard lesson to learn. But a lot of the graduates that I know and that I still keep in touch with, everyone has been very successful, but they're always stepping stones. Once you graduate, you're on the bottom. You are, but that's just the way it is, and you work your way up, and a lot of people do it in a very small amount of time. I mean, I was the vice president by the time I was 26.
I've never really been someone that has, at 7, I never said, I'm going to be a doctor, so never really knowing what I wanted to be sort of gave me sort of the feeling like, well, I hope I do well.
Everyone that knows this field knows that, you're not going to get rich quick. It's just, it's a great, steady job that has a lot of benefits and, a lot of long hours too, but there are a lot of great things with it that apply to it. And just, making, whatever you want to fill in the blank for salary, that's just not, you're not going to get there quick. You got to put your time in and work under people who've been in the profession for a long time, such as my boss, who's been here for 25 years. So I'm not sure what he makes, but, you know, I'm sure he does a little better than I do.
And I guess being successful is sort of all how you think of success. I mean, it doesn't have to be monetary success. It can sort of just be, you know, you found a job that you love, which is hard to do.
Yes, some days I feel like I'd like to go back to college. My day consists of, I get up by 5:30 in the morning, so I get up between 5 and 5:30 in the morning. I'm out the door by 6:30. If I don't get out the door by 6:30, my normal 25-minute commute can turn into a 55-minute commute. So I get into the office, get here before everyone else does. It's nice and quiet. I plan out my day. Then I hit the phones, get out of the office at 9:30, go out, do cold calling, and appointments that I've set up during the week. Back in the office at 3, do paperwork, more calls, return messages I may have gotten on my voicemail, and I get out of the office around 6:30 at night, fight the commute home, about 40 minutes on the way home. Then if I have some energy, I'll cook myself dinner. A lot of times it's just a Stouffer's pizza. It's $2.59 for 2, and I throw in the oven, and 25 minutes later I have it. I have a beer, I watch TV, and I'm in bed by 8 o'clock, so I can wake up the next day and do it all over again. So those days at Colby-Sawyer when I could sleep in and not have a class till 10 look really good right now.
I go to the gym at Colby-Sawyer a lot, and just sort of watching people interact with their friends, and you know, having the luxury of having, you know, free gym passes, or you know, being able to use any sort of department on campus at their leisure. I definitely miss that. I don't think I definitely didn't use it to my advantage as much as I should have.
School is great because it's scheduled and it's regulated, and the collaborative spirit of a classroom, and it's you know, it's nice enough, you know, it's not, how to put this, it's a lot safer feeling to know that you're going to go to school and you don't have that many expenses, and you can have fun, and you might have a class from 9 to 11, then you don't have anything until 3, and work's a lot different than that, but there's a ton of benefits for being out in the workforce too. I mean, you can do what you want, and you lead your life, and it's a lot of responsibility, but it's fun.
Buying my washer and dryer was really fun. It made me feel like really grown up.
One piece of advice, I don't know if this applies to all majors, but definitely business and communications, is when you're going out to look for a job, it's great to go to the job fairs. My biggest piece of advice would be get yourself a recruiter. It's the best step you can do because they're going to get you into jobs that you won't find advertised in the paper.
I think there's a lot of pressure on seniors to graduate, having a job, and, you know, thinking or knowing how they're going to, you know, make the money to pay the bills. And, you know, if you have to take a part-time job to start off, living with your parents, not having a car, then, you know, just do it, and just know that, you know, the friends that have those great jobs to start off with are probably going to hate them in 6 months.
Just take it easy. No need to rush to get into working, as much as there might be pressure from your parents and, you know, other family members who might tell you, you know, get out there and start working and get a job. And you could do a job, and it may not have to be what you studied. Just, you know, make some money, get by for a little while until you want to really get into it, because I think you just exhausted yourself for 4 years through school, and you need a little time to get your stuff together and move on, because there's a lot of big changes once you get out there.
I think just the real life working environment, the more experience and the more people you can talk to that you get into that, the better off you'll be. Don't be scared. Know that you're not going to be successful the second you step out the doors, that it's an ongoing process. There is a lot of support, and your friends can be a really good support for that. You will be successful. It will come. It takes time. The best thing you can do is make sure that you do something you love. I'd like to thank Beth, Laura, Mike, Keith, and Katie for helping me to see what it's like out there. I hope it's helped you too. Thanks, and good luck.